had to fall back. You got everybody thinking I'm all bad. You know the truth. I was always holding you down. You down. Baby. What is this for this girl? What is love? Love, what is love? You believe in it for two.
Yo, what it do, man? This is your boy, North End Floyd, man. This is the Kickback Podcast. This is episode 223. Yes, 223 episodes. I've been doing this, and I got a special guest on a special Wednesday. Let me introduce who I got back there, for the people that don't know. Who I got back there? What's this?
Hey everybody, I'm Raquel.
Okay, like we was talking before the show. Me, I don't know why I was thinking like maybe you didn't know you was viral right now, but you said yeah, you was aware of everything that's been going on.
Sure, yeah.
So
unfortunately, on some of them.
But that's a good thing. I've been seeing a lot of people saying how much they love you. So do you know a lot of people out there is just, rocking with you like that?
There's been a lot of positive. You got your negative. I try not to read a whole lot of comments on stuff because sometimes when I get to the negative ones, it hits me a little bit wrong, and I'm not going to respond. But there has been a huge amount of positive feedback over the last few weeks for sure.
Yeah, like I said, you're like a fan favorite. Like people are saying like you're the best judge out here. People are saying like they deserve it, and but yeah, I can feel you on some things, because YouTube can get kind of crazy. And when I post stuff on YouTube, I see the comments, and then you see that one, and it's like,
it'll take you down the path.
I was like, oh man, you had to be the one and stuff. Right? It just humbles you, man.
It does.
It'd be like people that, cartoon characters, so you don't even know who they are. It's just hiding behind the characters.
For sure.
I was like, oh my God. But
yeah.
But the funny thing is, you're thinking about starting a podcast.
I just told you that.
I know.
So I think it would be kind of cool because there are a lot of things about cases and things that happen behind the scenes, even in the office with my staff and my court reporter. And I'm good friends also with my staff. And so we decided if for nothing else, we need to start recording some of our stories just so we don't forget them.
Yeah.
And then we started thinking how some people would probably find it very interesting and educational and funny, some of the stuff that goes on that you don't get to see, So we're thinking about it.
The behind the scenes?
Yes, a little behind the scenes, behind the bench.
Oh, yeah, behind the bench. Because you know what? A lot of people, they pay attention to I know it's a lot of clips that's getting posted, but is it actually a channel or something where they can watch you every day?
So everything that I do is live.
Okay.
And so if I'm in court, other than if it has to do with the child victim, then everything we do in my court is live on YouTube. And I keep them up, those videos, sometimes for a couple of weeks, and then I delete them. So there's not some big bank where you can go look at everything I've done, but you can watch me every time I'm in court.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm seeing all these clips and I was like, man, how are people
they're grabbing them. Yeah, they're grabbing them while they're still out there. And some of them are literally within an hour of me saying something or making a face or whatever it is.
Hey, you be making a lot of faces too.
I make a lot. I have no poker face. You're going to know what I'm thinking at all times. And there's a big joke around the courthouse with the attorneys and everybody about my faces.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure some of that stuff catch you off guard. And it's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just when you think you hear it all, somebody's going to say something or act a way that you're not ready for.
Yeah. So you're like the cool judge. Do you consider yourself cool?
I don't know about cool. I just think I'm able to, I don't know, relate in a way, I guess, and not let myself get too far gone and down the path of if somebody making me mad. Like I have a whole lot of patience usually.
Yeah.
And then until I don't.
It probably takes a lot of patience to be a judge.
It should, I think. I think that's a good trait for most judges is you should have a lot of patience. You really have to.
Okay. Where are you from? You from here?
I'm from Nome, Texas.
Nome?
The thriving metropolis.
Okay. All right. Nome. So you went to HJ.
HJ, I did.
Man, that's like one of the best school districts out here.
Yeah, it was great. I grew up there and my kids went out there.
Okay.
So yeah, country girl.
Yeah, I was trying to see about getting my daughter into HJ, but it's a tuition I think you got to pay. So
Yeah, but I don't think it's a lot. I was on school board out there too for a while.
okay,
I don't think it's real expensive.
yeah, because Keith Road is right there. So if
You're
I
very,
just,
you're close for
I know
sure.
they
Yeah,
can't give me the benefit of the doubt.
yeah, you should try it.
Well, maybe if maybe you can give me you're so big out there. Maybe you can,
Give them a call.
yeah, yeah, just like slide me in or
Yeah,
whatever. So
yeah, we'll work on that.
okay, so how were you when you was growing up as a kid? Was you mischievous? Was you the good girl? Was you were you
I
in
didn't
band?
know
Like
you. I
what's
didn't know we were going to get into my high school years.
we started from the beginning to the
Yeah,
end.
no, I think, I was probably a typical country kid. We ran the roads and rode bicycles and
Okay.
no cell phones. And,
No.
your parents yelled for you to come home when it got dark and
Okay.
did our typical, go out to the fields when you were not old enough, but old enough and
Okay. That was
drink
the
a little
hangout.
beer, do whatever that your typical country kids do, raised animals, played sports for the
Okay.
most part, really, good kid.
I met one of he was a coach at HJ, Coach Sutherland or something.
Uh-huh. Todd Sutherland.
Yeah, I met him at HEB. Good guy too. Like me and my
Yeah.
buddy was talking, and my buddy went to school and knew him. And we started talking like we knew each other. I was like, man, this guy's kind of cool.
He is. He went over to, I think he's at East Chambers now. He left
Okay.
HJ a while back.
Yeah, I heard he won like a few championships.
He did.
Yeah. Okay. So shout out to Coach Sutherland.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. He's a great guy. Absolutely.
Okay. So what
One
college
of
you
our
went to?
HJ girls just got drafted in the WNBA.
Oh, she did. Yeah, she did. She went to
She's going to Golden State.
Golden State. Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. She
was in Little Dribblers. She played with my daughter, and I helped coach their team. So
so you helped out.
I mean, just
you showed her the jump shot.
No, I did not. She's a great.
So she always been that good at Little Dribblers. You already
Always.
seen.
Yeah, she's 2 or 3 years younger than my daughter and played on the same team.
Oh yeah. Well, that makes sense if
Yeah.
she's that good. I mean, she hit that last second shot against.
She did.
I forgot who it was. LSU.
Was it LSU? Maybe
I think it was LSU. Yeah, so that's good. Shout out to her for getting drafted.
I know.
I never got a WNBA jersey, but I might have to get hers.
I know. Same.
I wish she had got drafted at I think Connecticut Sun because they're moving to Houston.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that would have been kind of cool to watch her play.
Very cool. Yeah.
So hey man, congratulations to her. So she had a good event that she had at Pro 9.
She did.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool, man. That the area showed her love like that.
I know.
So.
I love it.
Okay. So what college you went to?
A&M.
Oh, you're an Aggie.
I'm an Aggie.
Man.
I know that I probably just lost half your
no.
viewership.
Oh, Mitch is a Longhorn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Y'all don't never.
Hardcore.
He is a
I'm not one of the. I mean, I loved A&M.
Okay.
I think it's a great school, but I don't bleed maroon like some of them do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because those Aggie fans, y'all get a little wild.
They can.
Yeah.
Great school.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. You and Mitch. Hey, shout out to Mitch though, man. Mitch Templeton. He the one who kind of connected us.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, man. I appreciate him for that. So how was college? Did you always know you want to be a lawyer and go into law school, or you started somewhere else?
I started in accounting, which I'm not sure what I was thinking because I really don't love math.
Oh.
And so that lasted about a year, and then I didn't do so well and switched over and majored in English because I was good at that.
Okay.
And so probably my second year of that, I realized that I didn't want to be a teacher and started thinking about what else to do. I don't come from a family of lawyers or politicians or judges or anything like that. So that's kind of, it hit me. I'm either going to be a teacher or I need to go to law school.
Yeah.
And, so that's what I did.
That's kind of like how my wife was. She wanted to be a teacher, and then she realized that she didn't want to teach no more. So
yeah.
And we got a teacher shortage out there. We need some teachers out there.
We need some teachers out there, but we need some good administrators that have their back too.
Yeah, we need all that. I had a good guy on the show last week. My boy Stacy Lewis, man. And we had a great conversation and stuff. So he cares a lot about the kids and about the city. So
yeah. Right, yeah.
He tried to run for he ran for JOP, but he lost by 20 some votes to Ben Collins.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so he said that was like his dream job. So maybe he'll give it another shot in 4 years. So we'll see. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, what he does and stuff. So shout out to Stacey Lewis also too. So is becoming a judge, is that stressful? Is that a stressful job?
The j- you know, yes, it is. I mean, there are days that are more stressful than others,
Mhm,
and there are cases that are more stressful or more difficult, but I love it. And so, I mean, I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I practiced law for 19, almost 20 years before I got elected.
Okay.
And I definitely feel like I'm more suited to what I'm doing now.
Yeah. So 19 years, and then you finally said, I think I could run for.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to 2 years in. I had been out of
Oh.
school and practicing for about 2 years. And I remember thinking just in my head, I think I could do that about, the judge. Like you don't advocate for a certain side.
Mm-hmm.
You're just there to make sure the rules are being followed, the Constitution's being followed, and you just use your brain in a different way. And so I knew very early on that I thought I had no idea how to do it or how to
Mhm.
get there or what the process was, but figured it out 20 years later, I guess.
Okay. So the process of becoming a judge, you go to law school, become a lawyer, and then
It's unfortunately has to do with politics. You have to be elected.
it is. Man, politics can get so messy too.
Politics are icky. I didn't like the politic part. I'm not I don't feel like I'm a politician at all. And
Okay.
so that was a difficult part of it for me to kind of get a grip of and do what I needed to do to get elected. And I felt like I'd be good at the job, but
Hmm.
it's also hard to talk good about yourself. I wasn't very
Yeah.
good about that. I'm
Yeah.
not a big bragger. And so,
Mhm.
but that's what you have to do. You have to get out there and say, well, I deserve the job
Exactly.
because, and I would be better than that person because, and
Yeah.
so.
And then people like to, people like to slang a little mud if they can.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, you see the commercials when
The big
people are
ones for
running.
sure.
Yeah, the big
It
ones.
can it can be a little messy locally. I had a primary,
Hmm.
a runoff, and a general election the year
Yeah.
that I got elected. So 3 contested elections in 1 year.
Mm.
So it was I don't know how to even explain to anybody what that was like. It was crazy and terrible.
Yeah. So it's when it's an elected position, it's every 4 years or 2 years.
4.
Man, it's a good thing it's not two. City stuff is every 2 years. I don't
Is.
know
I
how they
don't know
do
how
it.
they do that. By the time you get situated and get kind of your groove on what you're doing,
Hmm.
you're having to worry about somebody wanting to come in and take your job from you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I had Roy. I had him on the show, and we was talking about it, and he's like, it takes a little time to implement stuff, and by the time you try to get it implemented, you're running from election again.
Yeah. No,
So
that's tough. I can't imagine.
yeah, I think they tried to push it maybe 3 years. I think at one point
No, I think
out there.
that would be good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now as a judge, do you have to worry about like family members of people, like you like that you give time to or
Sure.
whatever? Is
Yeah.
that I think
Sure.
I think everybody in law enforcement or something has to,
You do. You can't spend your days and nights worrying about it.
Okay.
You don't keep it. I don't keep it at the forefront of my mind. It's in the back of my mind. I try to be aware of my surroundings and I try to be aware when I go out places, but you just have to live your life. And if somebody's going to try to get you, they're going to do what they're going to do. But there have only been really a handful of times since I've been a judge where I've had some serious issues where I had to have some security and things like that for a little while.
Oh, you had to roll with the security.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dang, that's wild.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you roll with some security out here. Is it people? So if somebody needs some security, who should they contact?
So no, because I'm a judge, if I have any issues, then the sheriff's department that's part of their job is to protect us judges.
Okay.
And so when I have any type of
Hmm.
issues like that, law enforcement steps in and they're the ones who camp out at my house and things
Oh
like that.
man.
Yeah.
I think somebody would be kind of crazy to kind of mess with a judge. I mean, you got to be like on the last line to.
Well, but you got them out there,
Okay.
You've got them out there. You got people out there everywhere in the world that are kind of fanatics about stuff.
You do hear
One way or
something.
the other. So yeah.
Do you get annoyed when people try to come in your courtroom and play with you like inmates and stuff? I seen you was it was some guy, he was fighting in jail and he was like he wasn't showing up and all that, and he tried to get his bond reduced, and it's like, do you think in your head like, are you seriously, I mean, like, come on, dude?
That's exactly what I want to say. It's like, and I probably do sometimes. Like, are you serious? I mean, it can just be some of the things are so simple in my mind and in your mind and in most people's minds on how to act and
Mhm,
how to, if you want something from someone, usually if you're nicer to them or you follow certain rules,
mhm.
you're more likely to get something from someone
Yeah.
instead of acting like a you know what and then thinking that they're going to give you something, and people will say, I just want respect. And you're not showing me respect.
Mm,
Well, I mean, earn
yeah.
respect and be respectful and people will respect you. And so it can be so frustrating because it's just not that hard to follow some of the simple rules.
Yeah, I see, like, I think it was one guy and, what did he say? I think he said something, and I think he said he was talking to his lawyer or something. Oh, do most of them have court appointed lawyers and stuff?
You know, Probably a large portion have court appointed lawyers, and especially if they're in custody.
Mm.
Those typically are almost all court appointed lawyers. Not all, but a high percentage of it are court appointed.
Oh, okay. All right. So back to the podcast. Now the behind the scenes, what usually happens behind the scenes, like from what we don't see on the clips?
Oh gosh, there is there are phone calls
Really?
in the office that are, just different things about the cases or the trials or things that we pick up on and either get tickled about and laugh about certain things or
Mm.
terrible things where we go back and shed tears or whatever it might be. And
Mm-hmm.
there's just the all the process that kind of goes into sitting there and taking care of cases. There's just a lot more to it in the background.
You have to keep your emotions out of it.
I don't think you need to keep all your emotions out of it,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. I don't think you need to be overly emotional. But so one of my favorite judges was Judge Thad Hartfield, and he was a federal judge.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a lot of federal defense work when I was a defense lawyer before I was elected. And he would give me the problem children because he always said I could deal with the
The
problem
problem
children
children.
so well,
Okay.
just because of the way my personality, I guess. But he told me, and he was just a very caring but very stern judge, but always very caring also.
Mm-hmm.
And my last day in court, he kind of did this big thing for me, and he told me, he said, "Whatever you do, don't leave your heart at home."
Mm.
And I've never forgotten that. And it's true. Like, even when someone deserves and has done something terrible and deserves a big sentence, those are the harder things to do because I'm human and they're human and they have families and their families are suffering because of what they did and things like that. So I think if sentencing ever became easy,
Mm-hmm.
then there'd be a problem.
Yeah, I seen. Unfortunately, they had a guy who got arrested. I think he abused like a 2.5-year-old child.
I just recently I saw that on
Just
the
recently
news.
happened.
Yeah.
So something like that. That's what I'm saying. As far as that, does that affect like a decision, or you have to, the prosecutor and the defendant, you got to let them do their thing.
Let them do their job. And, they know more about the cases. And so they know, I don't know all the facts. I know, like you heard that on the news. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know for sure what happened and what the other kids saw or what all the circumstances were. Your prosecutor's going to know the most and your defense attorney's going to know the most, which is why normally they plea bargain a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I accept a lot of those plea bargains because they know more about. It's not really my job normally to get involved in that. Otherwise, we're never going to get anything taken care of,
Okay.
and we'll end up with cases just piling up. Now, there are some times when they make agreements, and I don't like them, and I'll reject it. And I have the ability to say no,
Mm-hmm.
but I usually will ask them, like, somebody explain this to me. Why are y'all giving this good of a deal? And there's usually a reason.
Okay.
And that's something that's kind of frustrating about we were talking about comments and people saying stuff earlier, and that we don't, when they're saying negative things, that's one of the things that can be very frustrating. Is people will say a lot of negative things about me either sentencing someone to or accepting some low plea agreement, and them not understanding why, and me not really being able to say out loud why. But let's say you have a kid case,
Yes.
where a child has been sexually abused by someone.
Okay.
Those people get probation all the time. People lose their minds over it, and I get it. I don't like giving them probation.
Okay.
What if the kid won't come to court and testify? You don't have a case.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How do they prove the case if the kid can't testify?
Yeah.
They have to testify. And so that's what a lot of people don't understand is parents will say, I'm not going to make them do it. Or the kids will say, I'm not going to do it. Or they'll shut down and they won't be able to talk. And so they then try to get something is better than a not guilty.
Yeah.
So they'll do plea agreements and they'll get probation. Well, then if they mess up their probation, I can send them away for a long time. But if they go to trial,
yeah,
they're probably going to get a not guilty if the kid didn't show up. You know what I mean?
I got you.
And so that's something that is hard for people to understand. Or why didn't they give them, life in prison or the death penalty? Well, because it was a 2-20 case,
Yeah.
It's not a life in prison case. So it can be frustrating.
How can we change that? How can do they have to vote for, they have to change the law? That's
legislation. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, your right to confrontation is never going to go away. I mean, that's a constitutional right. If you're charged with a crime, then you have a constitutional right to confront the person who's accusing you. And that is a very difficult, mostly in child cases, it is the most difficult thing. Think about an 8-year-old walking into a courtroom and not just facing me and a jury and everybody else that's sitting in the courtroom, but the person that they're saying did something really bad to them. I mean, could you do that at 8? I probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have reacted. And so I don't know how you can change that because it is a constitutional right to confront them. That's tough.
What is a typical day for you like? I mean, you get up in the morning, how's it start?
I get up and go to the gym.
Okay.
And, usually, and then I go. My Mondays, my weeks are the same, at least in the first part of the week. I have a docket every Monday morning, a docket every Tuesday morning that I do all kinds of different things. Usually, it's anywhere from 25 to 40 cases set on each of those days. Mondays is cases where the people are out on bond. Tuesdays, jail day. And you're taking pleas, you're sentencing, you're setting things for trial, you're getting resets, just normal moving cases along. And then if I'm in trial, that Monday afternoon we'll pick a jury, and then Tuesday afternoon start the trial and go through trial the rest of the week.
Okay.
So that's kind of a normal week.
It ends for you like what, 6? When is court?
You were done at 5.
Oh, 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
So it's like a 12-hour.
I mean, work-wise, I get there about 8:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
normal work day usually.
So you're in the 252nd District Court.
Yep.
What kind of people come to your courtroom? Anybody or?
So the types of cases are felony only.
Oh.
So I'm only dealing with felony criminal cases.
So the kids that are in there committed felonies.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. And that's we already said that's an elected position. Which, when is the next time you got to run?
So I'm actually up right now.
Really?
And so I'm uncontested, which is great. And
okay.
So the election in November, I'll actually be on the ballot for another 4 years, and that'll be my 4th term.
Okay. Oh, 4th term.
4th term.
16 years.
Yeah. So I'm in my 12th year right now.
Oh, 12th year. Okay. Yeah. All right. Uncontested. I guess they say, man, nah, that's not worth it.
I would not. Yeah. Thank goodness.
They say, we just gotta leave it alone. She's doing good enough. Let's just let her.
That's what I hope. Yeah.
So, who was some people that influenced you as far as saying taking a career into like lawyer, as far as becoming a judge and stuff like that? Was there any judges out there that you looked up to?
When I first started practicing, I was over in Seguin, which is Guadalupe County, kind of by San Antonio. And there were a couple of judges there that kind of, as a new lawyer, took me in, treated me very well, made sure I didn't do anything stupid in court. And if
Mhm.
they're, you've got some judges that get a little bit power kind of in the head, I guess, for lack of a
Oh,
better word, and they're not
okay.
always the most gracious to their attorneys. They forget where they came from.
Ah,
And so that's really when I first started thinking about that I would like to do that. And so they really started it. And then when I moved back here, Judge Gist, who was our drug court judge for a long time, he was a felony court judge first, and then he started our drug court program and that court. And he was absolutely the most instrumental, inspiring figure that helped me get where I am.
okay.
100%.
I know you're running uncontested, but any bigger goals than what's in the
No,
horizon?
not really.
You can't say that.
Well, and I don't even know that I have any, honestly. I've had people ask, but I've really never even considered um, anything else other than what I'm doing. Um, I'm not saying I'm opposed to anything else, I guess. I just don't know what it would be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Now as far as kids, like, do you see a lot of repeat offenders as far as kids go? You always see them all the time?
It's unfortunate, but I think Sheriff said it the best at a press conference. What, a couple weeks ago, there
Mhm.
was kind of a press conference. It really is, for the most part, a smaller portion of our society that are doing the bulk of the criminal activity.
Okay.
And so you typically want to give younger people, especially, or first offenders, chances.
Mhm.
And I've always been a proponent of that, and probably given a lot of chances when maybe, or I shouldn't have, I don't know, but I've always been had try to do that.
Mhm.
Um but the youth that are getting in trouble so much more seriously than they used to,
Uh-huh.
and they just cannot follow rules, even when you give them very simple. Some of them get on probation and are doing amazing.
Mm.
They do better. They keep that whatever it was off their record. They're successful, but you have that handful that just cannot do it. And sentencing young kids to a lot of time is something that takes, I think, a lot of thought and a lot of, it's not an easy thing to do, to think I'm about to send an 18-year-old to prison for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's them doing it, not me, ultimately.
Yeah. I mean, if it's serious, then what can you do if it's like
Exactly.
murder or aggravated robbery?
Exactly.
And
Yeah. So
yeah.
you got to keep the communities. You've always got that overriding factor too of keeping, you want to give opportunities and you want to help the defendants in front of you, but ultimately you got to try to keep your community safe.
How many cases you usually deal with a day?
A typical Monday and Tuesday, anywhere between 25 and 40 defendants a
Mhm.
day. So quite a few.
Okay. You know what? It's kind of funny. I have a jury duty
Yeah.
thing coming up.
Good.
You say good, man. Why do you think people fear jury duty all the time?
I don't know. And so I mean, I say it's kind of funny, but it's really not. If you were to ask my husband and my friends, hey, ask Raquel how we get out of jury duty, I'm telling you, they would all be like, don't ask her. Don't do it. It's her pet peeve. She's gonna get mad. And like, I literally didn't even let him off when we were anyway. So the thing about jury duty
Yeah.
is everybody's got jobs and they've got
Mhm.
responsibilities,
Yeah.
and I understand that. But the important thing that people don't understand, I don't think, when they're going into, I'm just not going to show up.
Mhm.
Well, then you can't complain about what who did show up did on a
Yeah.
jury. And you get some, jury, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that jury did whatever." Well, that's who's showing up.
Yep.
Show up. We need good, educated people and to show up, because it does matter. And I think a lot of people don't see that it actually does affect them.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to go do it. I mean, I don't know anybody in trouble. Well, but you probably know somebody that's been in a car wreck. You probably know somebody that's in family court. You probably know somebody that has been in trouble. And all of the, or somebody broke into some house down the street or whatever it was, it all affects everyone.
Yeah, like my friend, Mad Bay Jelly. That's not her real name, but she say she never go. So she needs to find.
We need to come find her.
Yeah, she need to pay something.
I mean, it's just we have a hard time getting. I can't remember. They told the clerk's office at one point told us like how many they had to how many they sent out to get however many we needed. And I want to say they were sending out between 4,000 and 5,000.
Yeah.
To get enough for a week.
4,000 or 5,000?
So that's how many people are not answering and not showing up.
Oh man.
So it's actually, we can't do our jobs if people don't show up. And you've got people sitting in jail waiting on their day in court. Well, if we don't have enough jurors that day, their case doesn't get to go to trial.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just and if they're sitting in jail, taxpayers are paying that.
Yeah.
So you don't realize really how many tentacles it touches in our society of jury duty. So
yeah, they got this popular guy. His name Keith Legay. He's a food critic. He said he never goes. He definitely needs to get.
Everybody needs to go. Don't tell me you're not going.
So I got about to see. I waited to the last day, so I got tomorrow. I think you can go online and
it's so easy. And the thing is now, because it's all online, you can actually put in, if you have a vacation coming up or something big at work, you can put in dates that you're not available.
Mm-hmm.
So there's you can't, it's not like it used to be where it was completely random and they expect you to show up whenever. You can actually go in and block out certain weeks that you couldn't do so that you'll get a week that you have more availability to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could get a fine, right?
So technically you can. You can get fined, and we've threatened a few times over the years because we go through phases. Of course, after COVID, it was hard to get jurors.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
You can kind of understand. But once all that was over and people were still not showing up, we did some public service announcements with Jamie Smith, the clerk.
I know Jamie Smith,
and so we kind of got together with him and said, none of the judges want to send a bailiff to come find you, but if people don't start showing up, we're going to have to.
Yeah.
Because you absolutely can get in some trouble, and we don't want to do that. I mean, we don't want somebody to show up mad. They're not going to be a good juror either. We want people to come because it's your civic duty and because it really does affect you.
Yeah. How much is it? Don't y'all pay like $7 or something?
Well, we got a raise. They got a raise. The state of Texas is the one who pays jurors. It's like a stipend that they give. And I always joke with my jurors because it's not very much. So the day one that you go is $20.
Oh.
And then if you get on the jury, it's $56 a day after that. 56 or 58, I can't remember. And so obviously that's not what you're making at work. And I get that, but at least it's a little something. It's just kind of a token of appreciation is what I always tell my jurors.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind being a jury one time in my life, just to get that experience. So
I would think it'd be a cool I've never obviously.
No, you haven't
done it. Even as a lawyer, you get kicked off if you show up. And now for sure, I probably wouldn't be on, but, I think seeing the process from the end, watching a whole trial from beginning to end, and being part of that process is super interesting.
Yeah. Now when people see your clips, what are you looking at? Are you looking at monitors, computer screens?
So I have several things in front of me. I have my big computer that has like everything for me is paperless for the most part.
Oh,
and so the case file is on a computer. So if I'm sitting there clicking, it's because I'm looking at how many times they've been to court, or what the probable cause is, or what the indictment reads, and stuff like that, things that the lawyers have filed. And then if there's a plea, then I have this tablet thing that sits up there, and that has the plea papers on it. So like the lawyers take a tablet and they all sign up on it with their clients, and then I see those papers. So I've got a couple different things in front of me, including then the people as well, obviously.
Yeah. Like we said before the show, like the faces you make when people are presenting their case. It's
Yeah.
like some of it is look like you're surprised by what they're saying. Like,
I mean, if someone tells you to kiss their, you know what, you're gonna have a surprise face.
yeah, for sure.
I can't help myself sometimes, but um, no, I'm not good at faces. There's no poker face. When I first got elected, I had some of my friends that were lawyers were like, "You got to do something. You got to watch your faces." And then I found myself where all I was worried about was trying to make sure that I wasn't making some face and I wasn't paying attention. And
Yeah.
like, you know what? You get what you get.
Okay.
You get the faces and all. So
is it different now that you know that you're going viral now? That you said as soon as the case is over, within an hour, they're already clipping it.
So for the most part, I'm not thinking about that. I guess I've gotten so used to. I have just a little camera, and I really don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. But there are times now where either I'll say something, or the defendant, or someone will say something, and the next break, my clerks or my court reporter and I were like, "Yep, that one's going to go viral." We know as soon as it happens, or we take a break and
Okay.
think about it. Yeah.
Okay, Abby Murphy, she says she was my lawyer twice.
Oh.
Do you know Abby Murphy?
I don't know the name, but that didn't mean anything because I've got a terrible memory.
My memory is so bad. I'm not even gonna lie. Like when I get older, I'm scared.
Well, and after all the year, I mean, I've represented a bunch of people. When I was an attorney for 19 years doing family and criminal defense, so I did a lot.
Okay.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah, because people was hitting me up and they were like, "Yeah, that was my divorce lawyer and all that." Actually, I'm like, I'm not finna do all that. Like,
yeah,
like chill out. So, that's also that I want to know. What do you consider like disrespectful? Like, because I seen a lady, she was leaning, and you was like, stand up straight. And
I did. I guess for me, the respect isn't for me; it's for the courtroom and the position. So it's not a personal thing where I think people should act a certain way because I'm who I am. I think when you walk into a courtroom, you should feel that sense of, oh my gosh, I'm in court. I should be acting respectful. I should be, yes, ma'am, no, sir, even to the attorneys, to everyone, to the bailiffs, to everyone there doing their job. You're in, an important place where big things can happen to you. And my thought is, if you're sitting here with a felony and you're asking me to do something for you, give you a lower bond, give you a chance on probation, give you a second chance, a third chance, then I would think if it were me and I'm asking for something from somebody, I'm going to do everything I can to make that person really believe that I deserve that. And walking in and smacking gum and wearing sweatpants and leaning and rolling eyes and kissing and all those things, to me, they may not be the most important thing in the world. And it's not the only thing I'm looking at in their case, but I'm noticing it. And so if they know I'm noticing it, then kind of fix that behavior.
Does that affect your decision? Because I seen you tell a lady, I think she had walked off and she said something, and then you like, get back over here.
Yeah. No, she ended up in jail that day.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
And then I heard everybody like, yeah, I heard it. Everybody.
They all heard it. Yeah, everybody tattletales on her.
I was like, look at all them talking about, yeah, I heard it.
Well, part of the issue with her is she didn't start out with a good attitude, and it only got worse.
Okay.
And I was very patient for a while, and I was letting her walk out the door. I mean, she was done. And instead of just leaving, you're not going to, I don't think anybody should think it's okay to be standing in the front 2 feet from a judge and an attorney who just actually did an amazing job for her.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I mean, he kicked butt. I mean, he worked his butt off, and I'm the one who didn't like what they did.
Yeah.
And then she's going to cuss him. So I was really taking up for him. I was mad for him that day because he really was doing a great job, and he's a great lawyer who does a lot of things in my courtroom. Mike, you're not going to talk to anybody in this courtroom like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You say she went to jail that day?
She did.
Now as far as the young kids going into jail. I've been hearing rumors like as far as like they're still in jail cutting up and fighting and
It's
stuff. So
terrible.
so all those reports when they come see you, it's a list of showing it.
So yeah, my clerk prints them out every day before court.
Mhm.
So for instance, today I went through paperwork for next week for my Monday and Tuesday docket, and she had already printed out jail reports for every single person that's in jail that had a report that's going to be in front of me.
Mhm.
And some of them don't have any. I mean, a good percentage of them don't have any, or they may have one where, I mean, they were, sitting on their bunk when they weren't supposed to be. Those aren't the ones that bother me. It's the absolute ridiculous disrespect for
Mhm.
those correctional officers and how they talk to them. And you're not going to tell me what to do. And you're not getting, and then they say it in a much, much worse way, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important. And like I tell them all the time, if you can't follow rules in jail, what makes you think I'm going to think you can follow rules on a probation?
Yeah.
You know, like you're not give me some warm fuzzies here. Give me something to go on. Show me that. And I've given them opportunities, and I've had a couple lately. Words getting out in the jail that we're looking at those things and that they're going into the
Uh-huh.
decision making. And I think it's helping some, but those young ones are just, and they have to keep the young ones somewhat separate
Mhm.
from the older guys, which personally, I think what would be great is to mix them up
Okay.
and have some father figures saying, boy, you're not going to act like that in here.
Yeah.
Instead of just a bunch of 17-year-olds horse playing like kids, because they are kids and they don't have anybody saying, you're not going to get me in trouble. Stop.
Mhm.
Because they're all horse playing. So I think some authoritative figures in there would be, not somebody that's going to hurt them or anything like that, but just don't,
Okay.
they need that, I think.
Your courtroom is downtown?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where jury duty. So
Yeah.
that's what somebody would, like as far as like jury duty, like it just seems like people would think like the process is long and
I mean, the nature of the process can be tedious, and there can be, especially that first day when you're waiting on coming into court and to start the process, you're doing some waiting around, and I get that. And I'm very, very cognizant of that. When I'm in the back and I've got a jury out there waiting, my lawyers know. I'm like, come on, get busy. Let's do whatever we got to do. And so if things come up that make us kind of go take a
Mhm.
longer time than what I expected, I'll usually have my bailiff go out and say, "Hey, they're working on something. We're going to get you in as quickly as possible." Just like when you're waiting at the doctor's office, you don't
Yeah.
have to sit around and wait. We all get that, but the nature of what we do, it's hard to avoid it.
Uh,
And so you just take some patience. Yeah.
are you seeing more teens? Because like the news is saying like the teens is going crazy, but
Yeah.
people say the stats wise crime is down. But
So I think what overall crime is down, but the crime that is occurring is primarily young people.
okay.
Yeah. And they're skipping over, when I first started, and for sure when I was a criminal defense attorney, kids would start off with a minor assault or possession of marijuana or, these minor things, the criminal trespass and criminal mischief, and they're ending up in misdemeanor court.
Mhm.
They're getting probations. And a
Mhm.
lot of times they're learning from their probation and they stay out of trouble. The problem now is they're skipping those steps and they're going straight to theft of firearm,
Mm.
stealing cars, burglarizing cars, robbing people, shooting everywhere. There's like this disconnect
Mhm.
almost from reality. Like that bullet could actually go hit somebody, and they're just shooting like, oh well, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's the guns, and it's a small percentage of the young people, but they're just out there running rampant.
Yeah, the city has been doing stuff. They did a Sunday prayer. Was it Sunday prayer?
Yeah,
They did that?
they've done some things like that, and that's great. I mean, obviously, everybody needs prayer. I do.
Mhm.
The kids that are messing up, those families, but we need some serious other intervention.
Yeah.
You know,
I kind of like what Zena said. Zena Stevens, she was saying, like, as far as her job is to lock them up to keep the citizens safe. And it's not really her job to, like, as far as programs, even though they have programs out there, she applauds them. But
yeah, that's not her job. It's
yeah,
really not. And everybody kind of has, their part in the process, from the law enforcement to the courts to the probation department to the parole department to churches and families and everything else. It's everybody has a part in it.
yeah. Now, as far as, like, you say, like, you do give them probation and a chance. Do sometimes you get, like, do you hear chatter from the outside and that sometimes they say, oh, the judge is too soft, or the judge is too strict?
Yes.
And
I hear both.
oh, you
And
do?
oh yeah, I hear both. And so I get sometimes, oh, she shouldn't, it was too much. And then the next day on a different case, it was, I
Mm-hmm.
can't believe she gave that person probation. But it kind of goes back to, I would hope that if people would think about it, that they would think about the fact that they would want me to treat every single case individually.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want me to do the same thing on every case, because not every person's the same.
Yeah.
Not every defendant, not every victim, not every set of circumstances. And so there's so much that goes into those decisions. And I don't have enough time, like on when I'm doing the case on YouTube, to tell everybody every single thing I thought of that went into that. But I've got a lot of information in front of me, in pre-sentence reports that probation does, that I'm able to read and know about. And I don't read those whole things out loud in court.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody may not have any criminal history, never been in trouble, not even as a juvenile. I'm going to give them an opportunity over someone who's been in trouble 17 times already as a juvenile and 4 times as an adult. And,
Mm-hmm.
you got to treat those people differently.
Yeah.
I think.
Do they still have that prison off of 69 for the kids? I thought that was something else. I thought
But no, they got rid of that. It used to be called TYC.
TYC. Yeah.
And now there's actually a different name for that. It's TJJD, I think is what the prison for juveniles is. And there's only a handful of them in the whole state of Texas now.
Yeah.
And it's actually very hard for them to find beds for juveniles that need to go, which I think could be part of the problem, is that some of these juveniles that are getting in trouble could go to that type of facility potentially and maybe learn and do better than as an adult, but they don't have the funding. And I mean, a lot of stuff comes down to funding and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening is, on some of them, the more serious cases, they're certifying them as an adult instead of treating them as a juvenile. And then they end up in our court and they get treated like an adult.
Yeah, you got to be it doesn't matter what age they is to get treated as an adult.
If there are certain findings in family court, like I had a 14-year-old several years ago, that was a murder case. He was certified as an adult at 14. So it doesn't matter the age. It only matters if certain criteria are met on either that they've been in trouble a certain number of times already, or how serious the offense is. Even if they've never been in trouble before, they can still be certified.
You think the legal system is designed more for the punishment or rehabilitation? Or
good question. I think it tries to be both. I think it is set up to try to do both. I don't know that it always works. I think it's a good system. I don't think it's the best system that could be, but we got to work with the system that we have. And so, like, for me, rehabilitation is super important, especially with the young kids. I really do give opportunities, and I think our district attorney's office gives opportunities, plea bargains for probations, especially for young first offenders. But if they're on probation and they can't follow the rules, then you've had your chance at rehabilitation and now you get your punishment,
Yeah.
And every now and then you've got those cases, and it's not very often, but there have been a handful where probation just isn't warranted, in my opinion, even from the very beginning, even if they're young. And those are tough ones.
People in the comments are suggesting boot camp. Do they still have boot camp like that?
I don't think they do. See, that's a whole thing is funding for different stuff. They used to have a boot camp out there, and it was behind the jail, I think, on 69.
Okay.
There are, to me, there's been legislatively a change that is not, I don't think, beneficial in the juvenile system of, we can't, we can't do that. We can't send them to boot camp and they're going to get hot and sweaty. And it's, and,
Yeah.
there's this whole thing of, and parents complain, oh, well, my baby's out there and they're whatever. Well, your baby did something bad. And this is going to maybe keep them out of prison. But there's been this shift to not accept responsibility and shift blame. And there's part of that has come, I think, legislatively and financially to not fund those things as well.
Okay. Now is it hard to kind of protect your mental carrying like so many heavy decisions, giving people so much time? Was that something you had to like work on,
It's I think you have to work on it all the time. And there are, for the most part, I think it takes a certain personality to be able to do what, especially like what us criminal courts do, and I think family courts as well. Like dealing with that all day would be difficult as well to me mentally. I just think it takes kind of a different person to be able to do it and kind of compartmentalize those things. And I always joke, I'm like, just shove it down. Don't think about it, But there are some things that definitely get to you and you cry it out or do whatever you need to do to vent it out. And then you have to move on. And there are certain sites and pictures and videos that I could, if you brought something up, I could do a recall just like that and be back in that moment. And there's some terrible things that I've seen and had to hear, but it's something where you have to kind of compartmentalize it and probably laugh and do things inappropriately in the back at certain times because if you don't, you're going to cry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has being a judge changed you?
Your initial answer to that, I think anybody would say, no, it hasn't changed me, but probably. And I don't know exactly how, but I would think probably it has made me, if nothing else, it makes you more aware of what's going on in your community. And so it changed a little bit how I raised my kids, where they could go and at certain times and those types of things just physically change. But I think also probably deep down, there's some emotional differences and having to do what I do every day. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If I came in the courtroom, like me crying, is that going to soften you up? Like, if I just start crying and like, is that going to help?
Have you not seen the videos? No.
I did see you tell a lady that.
Don't cry.
Yeah, you was like when
Dry
you
up the tears. You weren't crying when you were doing whatever.
Yeah, when you was
doing.
robbing that person, you wasn't crying.
Yes. It's that's the mama coming out of me, I think. Every now and then when my finger comes up and that my mama voice comes out. But I don't want to say that it never does, because one of the things also that I think you're able to do the longer you do this is read people very well. And there are some real tears and there's some fake tears.
Oh, okay. All right. So people have a game plan when they come in there.
And I feel like I'm pretty good at really realizing like this person is so genuine and this person might not be,
Yeah, I seen when them teens come in there, yes ma'am. They're so nice and polite when they're in that courtroom sometimes with you.
Sometimes they are. And I make a point now because I fuss at people for what they wear sometimes when they're coming in. But I try to make a point too. I've had some young people come in, and I mean, they are dressed nice. They're yes, ma'am. And I try to say, I appreciate how nice you look today. Thank you for that, or the guys that have been getting in trouble in jail and then they come back and they haven't in 30 days. Look, see, you can do it. I want to give them that positive reinforcement. Some of these kids have never had positive reinforcement.
That's true.
Some of them have never had negative reinforcement. That's why they haven't had consequences or positive. And so I think it's important when they are doing what you ask them to do to let them know that so that they're like, okay, I can keep doing this. I can do it, you know?
Somebody said, can you just sit in the courtroom?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Courtrooms are open. By law, they're open.
Oh, okay. So that
So
answers
yeah,
the question.
anything in court, you're not going to find a locked courtroom if something is going on in that courtroom. There's like very, very few exceptions to that.
If you're just bored, you can just like, man, I'm finna go watch some court cases.
Absolutely. And we love it. We love it.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's why we had to do YouTube. So all the YouTube and doing stuff live started because of COVID. Because we had to keep doing court. I mean, you obviously can't just stop. People are still getting arrested and things are happening. But we couldn't just allow everybody to come to the courtroom with social distancing and all that. And so that's when we did Zoom for almost 10 months to a year. And so instead of having live court to make it live and public, we went live on YouTube.
Okay.
And so there are several judges in the state that have just carried that on. We don't have to do it now. I choose to do that, and I choose to do it for transparency.
Okay.
Like nobody's going to be able to say, "Oh, you always do this or you do that or you're whatever." Like watch me every day if you want to. And then if you really think I'm doing a certain thing to a certain group or a certain person or whatever it is, then I'd be glad to have a conversation.
Okay.
The transparency is pretty. I don't always love seeing myself and the faces and all of that. I don't like that, but I think I'm willing to deal with that so that people can really see how it works.
Yeah, I'm like that sometimes when I'm editing and I look at the clips in the podcast and I'm like, oh man, no, but
me too. Sure.
Now, as far as what's the big misunderstanding from judges that people, what's the misunderstanding that y'all get all the time?
I think honestly, and I've kind of talked about it already as the biggest misunderstanding is that people think that we are either soft or hard for some reasons that don't make sense to people. I have a lot of comments at times where people will say, that I love pedophiles. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Like who? I mean, really? Obviously, I don't. And obviously, if I know somebody has done that, I want them put away just like everyone else does. So those are some misconceptions, is that we have to make decisions based on what we have, and sometimes we don't have it all, and so we have to take that into consideration. And so I think it's a misconception that we're just either light just because we felt like it that day, or we don't care about a certain type of offense, or we care more about something else. Because I don't think any of us out there are like that.
Okay. Somebody asked, have you seen the 123 Jefferson County page? They show like people,
the mugshots.
Yeah.
The one with the mugshots. I've just had other people. I don't look at it all the time, but I have seen it and know what they're talking about.
Somebody think it's people in that works for them that's doing that. Are they allowed to do that? That's not against the law, is it?
No, it's not. It's public record if you get arrested.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't think it, and I don't really like that, honestly. That
you don't?
No, I don't. Because the thing is, you may have been arrested for a very minor offense, or you may have been arrested for something that you're not guilty for. And then social media just takes it, and you're never going to, used to you get in trouble, people are going to know that need to know, an employer or a school or your parents or whatever it is. But now it's out there, and you may get found not guilty, but somebody can do a search. Well, there's your mugshot,
Yeah.
I don't really like it.
Yeah, that is true. You could be innocent, and then they post it, and then your job is like.
And things don't go away on social media.
No, it stay up there.
They're there forever. So I really don't like those things being splashed around like that.
Before we get out of here, any changes you would love to see in the justice system that you would like kind of?
We don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. More money for mental health. To start off with.
Yeah.
More money for juveniles, more money for programs and getting people in programs, and all that is a statewide issue, to get money for those things and for people. And I think they're getting there and starting to move more towards realizing that mental health issues turn into criminal issues a lot of the time.
Okay.
And so getting people some help with some minor things could prevent some really big things later.
Okay. So what keeps you motivated from dealing with all this stress and all these situations and people, and it's almost like you got to be a therapist sometimes.
You definitely do. And I'll tell you what does it. And I don't get very many I get way more negative feedback because that's just what the nature of human nature, I guess. But I get once every now and then a letter or a
Okay.
message or something from someone whose life was literally changed, and they'll call me out on it. And I had a Facebook message from someone who said, you gave me a chance when you shouldn't have, and I
Mm-hmm.
took advantage of it, and this is what I'm doing now, and I'm working at a plant and I'm doing all these things. That's what it's the one person that you save out of 100.
Okay.
What keeps you going?
That's what's up. Somebody said, ask you about the Happy Father's Day shirt. What's that?
Oh, don't make me talk. It said happy world's greatest farter.
Farter.
Not
Oh yeah, my bad. They said
and
farter. Oh.
well, yeah. That was one of the first
Oh
big viral ones.
man.
The poor guy came in and I gave him a hard time for wearing that shirt. and he shouldn't have worn. I mean, it's not appropriate in court.
No, man.
And so anyway, I don't know. I just
Dang.
asked us, like, is that really that's what you thought? I'm going to go to court. This is the shirt I'm picking for.
Oh man. Yeah, like he's like, I gotta go to court. Let me just throw this shirt on and it should be all right.
And who knows? He may not have even looked at it, but
You
I
just
just
threw it
think
on real
that's
quick.
part of being. That's another part, though, of you're showing up to court. Look in the mirror before you leave and go, okay, I'm going in there in front of a judge. Wear it inside out if that's all you got.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'd rather that than some of the crazy things that people wear to court and think that it's okay. And I know people don't have access to a lot, and that's not what I mean by telling people they should dress better or different. It's not that I expect somebody to have the money. I know people don't have that, but there are things you can do literally from turning a shirt inside out to walk in and look somewhat more presentable, to say I'm going to show a good side so that she can do something good back for me.
Yeah. And like I said, mental health is very important. I have shows where we talk about mental health. If y'all do need a therapist, her name is Trina Rose, TRE.
Yeah.
And she's on the show a lot. And mental health is real, man. If you need somebody to talk to, hit up and she'll
I'll do. Yeah, that's important.
now before we get out of here, what's one thing you want people to know? You want to leave people with?
Gosh, I would say just to know that if you're watching and kind of judging how I judge, know that every single time I'm doing something, I'm really putting thought into it
Mm-hmm.
and taking everything into consideration. And I don't just get up there and go haphazard, just do something because of an age, of a race, of a type of offense, of any of those things, just to know that I really do spend time and wrestle over decisions a lot more than people even realize.
Yeah. And also you said, well, you're running, but I mean you don't have nobody to run against. So.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm
because
free and clear.
yeah, because people were saying like they were going to vote for you, but I just want to let people know that she's
No,
running.
and it be and here's the thing. Even those of us who don't have people running against us, we love to get votes, and so we kind of have a little side thing. Of,
Oh, you can still vote for you.
You can still vote. It's still on there, and so all of us judges who don't have opponents will at the end see who got the most votes. So yeah, get out there and vote.
Okay. I think Mitch ran uncontested one year too. I didn't even know if I could vote for him that time.
You can always, if it's the year we're up, we will be on the ballot.
Okay. All right. So look, y'all can still vote for her and then she can get those bragging rights.
There you go.
I want to tell you that I hope you do come out with that podcast because I think a lot of people is going to watch it, to be honest with you. I think that'd be kind of fun.
You're going to have to help us out with that.
Yeah, man. Jeez. Yeah, I got all the information you need. But I appreciate you for coming on this Wednesday. This is a special show, so
Well,
you know what
thanks
I'm
for doing it
saying.
on a Wednesday. I appreciate that.
I know you was
So,
busy. Your schedule is crazy and
it
stuff.
is
So
when I'm not working, I like to go and get away, and so it's
okay.
my weekends are pretty sacred.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everybody in the comments. They was going crazy. Like I
awesome.
said, you can watch this on YouTube. If you miss anything, you can also listen to this on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, anything that has a podcast, Spotify, it don't matter. You can listen to this wherever you go. I appreciate y'all. Y'all share this. And thank y'all for the love. And we gonna be back again, man. This was the Kickback Podcast, and I was with the judge, man, Raquel West. So I appreciate y'all, man. We see y'all later. Y'all have a great night.